genuinely hope y'all see the better side of what's about to happen. I have no ill will towards people who have an unnatural allegiance to losers.
I'm sure we all can agree with what this person said, that it's not even up to 3 days of Trump being in the office and he's already on page 30 of the Project 2025. If you have been staying away from news or staying away from social media, especially news coming out of the United States, I am so very sure that you have a little bit of peace of mind. Even if you're not living in the United States, as a Black person, you might probably have family members there. So you tune into the news to just catch up on what is going on and how these people are feeling. The news coming out of that place, the reaction that has been online is not something good at all. Even the people who supported and voted him are crashing out on TikTok, especially like in tears, saying if they knew this was what he was going to do, they wouldn't have supported him. And the people who did not vote for him are coming at the people saying if they knew, wouldn't have supported him, saying we told you so. It's a whole full blown of conversation going on because a lot of things have been revoked and a lot of companies as well revoking their DEI. The ones that have been sparking a lot of reaction is the headline that says Donald Trump has revoked the Equality Employment Opportunity Act of 1965. And if you don't understand what that means, it means that employers will be able to reject you based on your race, based on your sexuality, and all of that. So now that it has been revoked, it is causing a lot of panic reaction, especially among people of color, because we all know that the idea was to make the whole place a white party. This has sparked a lot of reaction. People are even calling out their friends who voted him in, telling them to please block them and delete them from their life, because if this is the decision they made, they have to go and deal with it and they don't want to be a part of it. I have put together what people have been saying about the whole thing going on. So grab your seats and let's join into this conversation.
I'm going to be very short and very to the point. To the white people watching this, and especially to the white people that know me in the real world, my friends, okay? Today, Trump did away with the Equal Employment Opportunity Act. You know the history of that, and you know why it had to be implemented in the first place. So when you went in that booth, if you cast your vote for Donald Trump, we're done. If you didn't hear me the other times I've said it, I just want to reiterate it now. You cannot vote for somebody that takes away the Equal Employment Opportunity Act, knowing the history behind it and why it had to be put in place. You can't cast your vote for him and look at me and tell me that you love me. You're done. And I mean that for life. Unfucking believable. They try to paint it as this saving grace for civil rights when really they just want to fill the federal government with all of their selected employees that are loyalists no matter what. So even after the 4 years that Donald Trump is done, even if another MAGA loyalist or Republican takes the presidency, they still have to go through all of this bullshit because now you got only MAGA federal employees. No diversity, no inclusion. Talking about some fucking based off merit. We know what it has to be based off. Did you bend the knee to Donald Trump? Cool, you now have a job in the federal government. We fired everybody else. You knew what you were voting for. Donald Trump knows he cannot run again. If you think you think they're doing all this shit just to disappear in 4 years, they're setting it up for the long game. They're setting it up for the fucking long game. So now if I go in and I want to get a loan for a home, if I want to get a business loan, I guarantee you it's going to be so much easier for the white man who they love and select to get a loan than it is for me to start my business. Fast forward into the next generation, my bloodline is now affected because I couldn't start my business as soon as this guy could because he's white and he got the loan. It's an example, but do you see how shit like this affects generation after generation after generation? We get robbed of opportunities because of your selfish ass vote. Did he sign an executive order for price gouging? Did he sign a fucking executive order for these grocery stores to stop looking at you with no fucking money and increasing the prices anyway? That's what he told y'all. Where's the executive order for that? Oh, well, it's a process and it's complicated. It can't, excuses. Like it always fucking is from y'all. Done, dude. Out my fucking face, man. Think about how big of a fucking pussy you have to be, man. You don't want anybody criticizing you or speaking out against your ideology, so you try to suppress the flow of information in social media because you're a strong leader, but you can't take fucking criticism. And then on top of that, when you lose or when your people lose, you blame it on fucking DEI and the corrupt government. Because the guy who you fucking lost to is not fucking white, but he's also more qualified than you. You can't fucking wrap your head around that. You have fucking terminal, incurable hatred in your heart. And it's genuinely not until recently I had to accept that even those type of people can fucking exist. I cannot control your existence, but I can control your access to my fucking life, bro. Out of here.
These uppity liberals being really smug about Trump's executive orders, these ICE raids, just the direction the presidency is going in general, and kind of washing their hands of responsibility and worry with the notion like that's y'all problem, are really funny to me, because I don't think they get how much worse it's about to get. And an emphasis on the worst to point out that this did not start with Trump. He is just the ruling class's scapegoat. They have been laying the groundwork for this for a very long time, decades. This is a bipartisan ploy. But the ignorance, not even the funniest part to me. The funniest part to me is this mask off reveal. So y'all are done pretending to be oppressed. Y'all are done pretending to be the enemy of the state like some of us actually are. Like, no. Let me say it like how y'all say it. Y'all are too privileged to care. It's not lost on me that a bunch of y'all are middle class. Maybe you think you can hack it? I genuinely hope y'all see the better side of what's about to happen. I have no ill will towards people who have an unnatural allegiance to losers. Too much energy. But I do have to chuckle at the arrogance and ignorance to think that your community will remain completely unaffected, or this mask off reveal of something we already knew, which is that a bunch of y'all are cosplayers. Don't call on me these next 4 years. I'm not doing nothing these next 4 years. We know. We know.
So what I learned today is a lot of y'all you don't care about your history. You don't care about the people that made sacrifices for you to be able to be where you are today, to be able to do the things that you're able to do, to be able to have the opportunities that you're able to have. You don't care about it. I just got off the phone with my mom, who just got off the phone with her mom, my grandmother, who she had to console because she was boo-hoo crying, and my mom didn't realize why. My grandmother was crying because she had saw the news that the orange man in charge had just put an executive order to repeal the Equal Opportunity Employment Act of the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Now I understand before that executive order was placed, that stood for over 50 years. An employer could literally tell you to your face, well, I'm sorry, I don't hire black people. I don't hire women. And no consequences. They could literally be just that discriminatory towards people. And the reason that it upset my grandmother so much is because she remembers my great-grandmother and great-grandfather, her parents, the sacrifices, the marching, the hard working, the speaking out and trying to help change, trying to help get these opportunities for us, and the sacrifices these people made to their own families, not being around their families sometimes because they were fighting for the good of us as a people, as a whole. And all this time later, to see what you might think is trivial, what you might think is small, to see something that they worked, sacrificed, clawed, and scratched for be taken away by the stroke of a pen. And all because a few of us, not saying a lot of us, a few of us, because it was 92% and 80%. But every one of us counts. And a few of us decided a little bit of money was more important than preserving our history than preserving the things that we fought for to be able to have opportunities in this place. It's just sad, man. It's sad that, you know, the further we get away from those times, the further our elders pass away and leave this world, and we aren't taught the things we need to be taught, and the knowledge isn't passed on to us. The further we get from that, the more and more easily it's going to be for us for things to roll back and go back in that direction. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but hey, man, just gotta keep grinding, keep fighting a good fight, and you know, look for better days, work towards better days. But man, just hearing my mom and knowing that hurt my grandmother like that it's crazy, man. Yeah, we gotta do better. As a whole, we gotta do better.
And I don't want to hear no sob stories from nobody who voted for Trump once he get to signing them executive orders. So if you're a federal worker that voted for Trump and now you have to go back into office, dummy. I remember last time y'all elected him president, as soon as he got in office, he started wilding. Next thing you know, we're seeing all these sob stories about people's families being broken up and they voted for Trump, but he doesn't care about them. We don't care about you either. We don't. I'ma say it. And also, intersectionality matters because someone like Caitlyn Jenner will post something saying, congratulations to President Trump, thank God, but also still be a trans-identifying woman. At the end of the day, privilege don't change. And that's why you can't make somebody like her the face of the trans community, because she's always going to have access to privilege and power. So while Donald Trump is saying that there's only two genders, yes, it does negatively impact people in the trans community. But because of her access to resources, she don't care. But yeah, if you voted for him, keep your tears to yourself.
I mean, I didn't think he was going to do all that. I wouldn't have voted for him if I knew he was going to do all that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? No. He said he was going to do it. He spent how many years saying he was going to do exactly this? He stood on stage every night for 2 hours at a time. 2 hours at a time. He was dropping a Netflix special every day. Was he reusing material? Yes, because he said he was going to do the same stuff over and over and over again. His biggest fans, his best friends, they wrote a book. They said, not only is he going to do this, we're going to tell him to do this. We're going to tell him to do it on this exact date. It's our little project together. It begins in 2025. And what you say? That feels made up. Nah, you just made that up. I do my own research. You don't do research. You don't do anything. You complain in comment sections. Most of you aren't even real. I can tell. Half of you are AI chatbots trying to get me to click on a sneaky link. No, you're right. The baby said I should just focus on what I can do at home. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Bishop asked the Trump administration if they could have mercy on children, and not only did they say, hell the fuck no, absolutely not, but they also, all of them, the entire right basically, is taking this as a personal fucking attack. I wish I was making this shit. They claim that this bishop made a sermon political, which is them saying that the lives of minorities is politics. Because in these people's eyes, if you are not a white man, you are not human.
If you do not want a diverse workplace, then you do not deserve a diverse consumer base. We need to follow in the examples, teachings, and legacies of those who came before us. Economically boycott companies that are against diversity and inclusion for all.
You guys think about what the host said? There has been a lot of reaction of people coming out, those who voted for him, now coming online to say, oh, if we knew this was how he was going to move, if we knew this was the direction of his tenor and all of that, we wouldn't have voted for him, especially so many palm-colored women crashing out over new custody law. And these people are even making it so hard to be serious this time, because real tears, if you guys see the way they are crashing out, it's so freaking funny. Let me hear what you guys think, because they have a whole idea that the whole thing was not going to affect them, it was going to go plainly. in their favor because guess what? They are snow people. This person said, why did he do that? Isn't there more important things than these things? Payment to wages or something important, you know? Why is it taking away equal employment opportunity? Another person said, we're about to learn of history repeating itself. The question is, are current generations willing to fight to fix the future? There are some people as well talking about how their parents who actually witnessed when this was taking a turn for the better, still alive and witnessing it going back to how it used to be. Like, it's literally insane. This one said, I feel like most employers were doing this to an extent anyways. They just had to follow certain clauses and hope somebody did not come back with a lawsuit, which is the truth because so many people have pointed out the fact that it's not really like it ended. They just find another way to execute their plan. But now it's like giving them a free pass and saying, you know what? Go ahead and just apply these people based on merit. We know who they call the merit people. Another person said this is heartbreaking. Knowing the history behind this and why its implementation was so incredibly important, knowing the sacrifices that were made all throughout our time in this country, it is insane. Like, I can't even imagine the people who were alive then, witnessing the law coming to life and then being revoked again. I can't even imagine how they are feeling right now. This one said, the full impact depends on how aggressively policies are dismantled and how institutions respond. Resistance from corporations, states, and advocacy groups may soften the blow, hopefully. But I saw the headline before I even started filming this video that Target as well revoked their DEI. So I think it's getting more serious than people even think. And it's not even up to 10 days in the office yet, you guys. The last one I have here said, so heartbreaking for all of us, but especially those who were around to witness the struggle. It's really, really heartbreaking. We are going to see how things are going to turn out. We are going to see how things are going to affect. There have been clips of people being arrested and wanting to send them back to their country. Let's see how these things are going to affect. Make sure your bell notification is turned on for more updates, and I am going to catch you guys in the next episode.